stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you. This isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you.
Unseen for generations, a dyad in the force.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dyad in the Forest, episode 57. Choco, you have something to say?
Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome. I started doing a whole intro, and the actual intro was playing, and I misunderstood the assignment. So, not the first time, certainly it won't be the last, but it feels bad, man. It feels bad.
It's okay. So, this is the holiday special episode. This is the last episode of the year. We won't see you guys until next year. 2 years, but everyone needs to spend time with family and friends, and just enjoy themselves for the holidays and just not have to worry about, any of this stuff really.
I thought we were your friends. No, just kidding. We spend time with you all the time. We know people are traveling, getting to spend time in ways they don't typically get to, and so we want to allow for that. And also, it's nice for us to be able to relax as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't have any set schedule here on the show. This is a completely free form episode, and whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat, we will talk about. And we do have Andrew DeMolanta or Rogue Leader Drew on TikTok scheduled to appear. Perhaps they'll join in at like 5:30 or so we'll take them as they come. But I want to start this episode. First of all, let me see if I can't get any music playing. I want to start off this episode announcing the winners of the Dyad in the Force disaster giveaway. The two posters that we have on deck, which is the Who Will Survive posters. But before that, I do want music playing. So, catch up with the chat, Choco.
Yeah. Let's see here. Just going back, when I do some shout outs, we got Saint Pat, awesome dude, great friend of the channel. X-Core Gamer Skills, Darthman86, Califora. We got Connor here, Jordy Jedi, and Danny Karaher. I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. Chase Forward into Black says, "Hey, yo, take me out to dinner."
Byron.
So we do what we can. I'm watching the YouTube stream, and I look potato quality, but in the call here, I look amazing, and I don't know what's going on. It's
Is it
but I
potato
suppose
quality
things
right now?
happen. From what I'm seeing on the YouTube, a little bit, but that's okay. We live in.
We're trying. Roll with the blows, as it were.
Loading Great Storm. Hello, how's it going?
All right, I think we have music playing.
Oh man, because of someone on Twitter, every time I see you pop up, Loading, I want to sing Another One Bites the Dust, and I know
the music came in so on cue in that.
I got lag here as well. Oh man, you
Really?
sure it's lag? You sure I'm not just slow? Because that's also possible.
Okay, say potato.
Potato.
Okay, that was only 2 seconds.
Okay.
Quality is dropping every now and again, bro. Really? Is it? I don't know why it would be.
I'm
But
telling y'all though, in the call, I look crystal clear.
interesting, because my bitrate is above 2200 right now. So the YouTube stream should look good. So I don't know. Like, it looks good on my OBS, and the bitrate is high. I'm not dropping any frames. But in any case, let us just pick this winner and announce it so we can see who is getting these posters. So full disclosure, guys, this is namepicker.net. I have everyone's name right here, all of the contestants, all of the entries. And we are going to pick 2 winners out of this pool. And Choco, why don't you count me down?
I mean, I would, but the timing is so off. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
All right, our 2 winners for the High Republic Disaster poster giveaways is Matthew Reyes and Gustavo Rodriguez. I will reach out to, if you're in the chat, sound off. But if you are not, we will reach out to you via email to confirm all of the details and to get the poster sent out to you guys. Congratulations to our very first Dyad in the Force giveaway winners, Matthew and Gustavo.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. We hope
And
to be
hopefully
doing more
we'll be
of these.
doing a lot more.
Yeah.
Because we have been fortunate enough to have, Lucasfilm provide some of those, and hopefully they'll provide more in the future. And I think we can convince them.
Yeah. Maybe give away some Millennium Falcons. Who knows? Just a couple of $1 billion here and there. Or Deptaries, as it were. So if Matthew or Gustavo is in the chat, sound off. But otherwise, we'll reach out to you. What were you saying?
I'm gonna try to go up the ladder and see if we can do somehow do a request celebration tickets to give away. not only to ensure our own, but I think that could be a huge hype builder. So, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can ask someone. Wish me luck, everyone. Wish me luck.
I wish you good luck. And I feel like
and
it
never
makes
tell
sense.
me the odds.
And I feel like it kind of makes sense that you're taking up this endeavor because I just got these posters, so I don't want to be like, oh, also, you know. But yeah, congrats to the winners. If you guys want to talk about anything, just leave it in the chat. Start a conversation. We'll talk about it. This is a completely free form episode. So I mean, of course we do have something to talk about a little bit. I mean, they announced a Han Solo and Chewie comic run for March 2022, and it's going to be before A New Hope, and it's going to be based on an adventure that he has with Greedo, in which they are on better terms, I guess, than when we see them in A New Hope.
I mean, hopefully we find out why Greedo was so pissed at him. But it's interesting because we haven't gotten much Han content since around the time Solo was coming out. We got Last Shot, and we got Smuggler's Run came out in 2016, something like that. But we got a prequel to Solo. A book that was Han and Kira as white worms, cruising around and doing some stuff. And man, the name of the book is now escaping me. Anyhow, this is going to be that bridge between Alden Ehrenreich and Harrison Ford. So I'm excited to check it out. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Leave it in the chat. I mean, do you think that this could spawn a sequel as well, or do you think they're just like, we'll do the comics? Because like Lucasfilm Publishing is just killing it with everything.
Maybe this is a hint that there might be a sequel. I don't know. Or maybe this is the exact opposite. This is the story that they would have told if they were given a sequel. I guess we'll have to wait and see, because I don't recall who's writing it. But
Mark Guggenheim.
Okay. I don't know much about him, but he sounds like a comic writer himself.
All right, we got Andrew in here. Let me add him to the call really quickly.
But yeah, there's I don't know. I just feel like in general, Solo deserves more love as a film. No, it's not my favorite. It's not in my top 3, but I say it's the ultimate, like, you're folding clothes, like you're putting something on in the background. It's entertaining. It's a fun, like, romp, and the story just keeps going. But at the same time, you can do it without being distracted. You know what I mean? Like, if I put on Empire, I'm not getting anything else done. That's kind of like, that's the way I look at it. So more of that content.
Yeah, what's up, Andrew? Oh, I don't think we can hear you. You might have the wrong mic selected, or permissions not granted in the browser.
Yeah, Video Monkey is pretty good at not using the correct mic. I'm also very good at not using. Oh, that was the lightsaber. I was so confused. Let's see.
No, we can't hear you still.
X-Core Gamersco says Solo is a great popcorn flick. Plus Woody Harrelson is awesome. Yeah, I did love him in that. Let's see.
Thank you for subscribing, Axel Reacts TV. Let me see if I can't fix it for him.
Hello there, says Brian with a beard. And I'm supposed to say, did you just say hello? No, I said hello, but close enough. If you're not familiar with The Labyrinth, that was the opening line as Jennifer Connelly enters the labyrinth.
This is weird.
I don't rewatch that movie.
I don't have audio settings for Andrew in the panel. Like, I have audio settings for you. I can select your devices, but I can't with him. So this is an interesting thing.
Interesting predicament.
Can you try rejoining the call and reselecting your devices? Okay, the way you said enough sounded so Geordie. How did you say enough?
Yeah. Huh?
How did you say
enough? Enough, you daft creature. No, I was quoting The Labyrinth. It's like, did you say hello? No, I said hello, but that's good enough. But I can't tell the difference between really, like, as far as English accents or UK accents. Sure, there's like posh sounding and like the opposite. But I'm terrible at accents, so don't. Hello, it's called a lance.
Hold on. I just gotta. Okay, so apparently this is. Let me watch this. This is what you look like. Yeah. As it were. I think Choco looks fine.
Okay.
Someone said, or Connor said that they DM'd me what you look like, but it looks fine.
Well, then that is good. Hello, Andrew? Can we hear you?
that. Oh. It's weird I can't see your audio devices on my panel. Because I can typically fix it for people. What I mean is, I could typically exert godly powers.
He's saying, but let's see if we can get that in the chat that we have established. And Pep, just to make sure, it's probably not the case, but the audio settings in OBS, but we're not hearing him on the actual call, so which is separate from the OBS feed. So that's different.
Yeah, no, you're coming through the same source on OBS. Well, this is a holiday special. I'm gonna run into some holiday issues, man.
Loden has a great idea. Just all we need to do is bypass the compressor.
I bypass the compressor. I don't know what the issue is.
Legitimately, if he's using like an XLR mic and it's running into something, that could be the what's going on. But we should also find out if he's able to use it locally.
That is also true. It's a very great point. Andrew, if you're watching the stream at all, or if you check the thread for the episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
You help us narrow down this problem, troubleshoot. Element has been kicked out of the Matrix. I have not been kicked out of the Matrix. I am the owner of the Matrix. I'm the architect. Vis-a-vis concordantly. Apparently, I am the architect.
I decided to mix it up and stand up, give you guys a view of some of the comics that are higher.
Right on. You already look more animated.
You know, it brings the energy, brings the thunder.
It makes me look lazy now. I don't appreciate this.
The Choco thunder.
Yeah. What's up, Ghostface Kai? We're just trying to fix some issues with our guest and just hang out. I mean, if you were around for the pre-show, you know that this is just a free-form episode. We're just chilling with everybody and hanging out.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed because I was hoping it was work because my end goal is to do Star Wars trivia with me, you, Andrew, and Alex, and I feel like we would take over the world. That's all.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, beautiful.
And there it goes. Wow. Yeah. Technology, right?
Yeah, but
Yes,
we're here. We're moving.
It's not ideal. I think I'm having problems with my broadcaster. This isn't the first time it's been wonky on me. So that's what gaming headsets are for, right?
All good. You're sounding good, and you're in the call, and I am getting a sound from you, and everyone else is getting a sound
Excellent.
from you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back in time just a little bit, Andrew, it's so good to have you on the show. For those uninitiated, would you kindly introduce yourself, tell everyone how you got into Star Wars, and why you're the champion of trivia?
That is a loaded question, my man. So, for those who don't know, I'm Andrew DiMolanta. I got into Star Wars very young, as I'm sure a lot of people have. I'm not old enough to have been, seen the originals in a theater setting, but the first time I believe I saw Star Wars was living up in Washington State, Spokane, Washington area. Snow days happened, obviously, and my parents didn't want me to annoy them all day, so I said, sit down and watch this movie with your brothers. And it was, Star Wars, obviously. And then I was the only one of my brothers that's like, all right, let's watch the next one. Okay, let's watch the next one. I just kept watching them Betamax, and I'm pretty sure I wore those tapes out because every snow day I'd be watching Star Wars. So that's my entry into Star Wars, and I've loved it since that day. And it's been, I say it to everybody that asks me this question, it's my oldest memory. It's like it's been there my entire life. It's my oldest memory, and it had led me, just to fast forward several years later, introduced me to, like you said, trivia. My involvement in the movie Trivia Schmodown. It was my third season. I was lucky enough to be champion for most of the season until I lost it in my fourth match of the season, and then my wife tried to get it back. But yeah, it's just the movie Trivia Schmodown is a crazy thing that me and my wife are a part of, and it has dominated my life for the past 3 years. Just constantly watching and studying and just trying to learn as much as possible, because for the longest time, Alex Damon, I'm sure everybody's aware of Alex Damon, was a champion for 3 years until I beat him. And it's been a wild year and just a lot of fun. But yeah, we're the off season is upon us. They had their big end of the year event this past 2 weeks ago. So we're on the off season and we're taking a break from Star Wars right now. It's a much needed break because we're just not. It's not healthy for us. Just say that. The only thing in our house was Star Wars, pretty much all day, every day, and just like constantly watching and trying to find these little minute details of who's that character. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. For the past 3 years, yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's. I mean,
I contend that's a healthy
it's kind of
lifestyle, though. But
it is exhausting. Yeah.
What's up, Camilla? Thank you for joining us. Happy Saturday. Happy holidays. This is our holiday special. Of course, this is very free form. Choco, you were talking about trivia that you wanted to do.
Nothing specific. I was just thinking, like, I feel like I just feel like if we could pool our resources, we would just be the ultimate team and could just like dominate Star Wars bar trivia across the country. Yeah. And it would just be kind of mean,
It would be kind of mean. It would be stacked.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting thing to me when I first saw your video about my video was the disparity between trivia and lore, because
Yeah.
I can talk about the lore all day, but if you ask me who played what character in this scene, I'm like, I don't know. Huh? Is that Harrison Ford's son? I don't know. Like, this trivia is lost on me. And I think the only behind the scenes thing that I like know just off the top of my head is David Prose. That was the body.
Yeah, David Prowse. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing you'll find. I mean, the Ken Knapsack. I'm sure people know of Ken Knapsack, who I actually have his book right there. If you don't have it, he can talk lore all day. He was our first champion in the Schmodown. But just that knowledge difference between there's knowing Star Wars and then there's knowing Star Wars, and it's such a big difference, because I feel like the better I got at trivia, my lore kind of like I got away from the lore because I'm so behind on like High Republic. I love everything that I've experienced of High Republic, but I'm so behind on it because I had to focus on this other side of Star Wars to keep up with the trivia side of it. So yeah, it's something that I've found that yeah, if you know, there's two ways of knowing Star Wars. It's like knowing ridiculous, like behind the scenes stuff, characters and all that, but then understanding story arcs and when I duetted you with the balance of the Force, I had for the longest time, balance of the Force is equal parts dark, equal parts light, and that's the thing. But then I stumbled across your video on TikTok, and I was like, I had never thought of it that way, and that's the side of Star Wars that I was heavily missing a lot of, and opened my eyes to a whole way of looking at things. And that's what I love about the franchise, is us from different ways you look at something, your understanding of it might be different. So
yes.
That's it was something that really opened my eyes. Like, that's something I never thought of, and I really enjoyed that aspect of understanding balance in a different way than what I had previously thought of looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, one is in the universe, like as if you were living in it and watching these stories unfold, and the other was us from the outside looking into the creation of this universe. And but yeah, especially doing trivia, you have to put all the eggs in that specific basket. So yeah, I guess I get that.
I feel like what resonates with me with lore is that I have a chance to contribute to like the world building of this franchise, because I'm not gonna lie, it was a proud moment for me to read Secrets of the Sith and have that like reference to changing the currents with the dark side, and just kind of canonized the interpretation of like the Sith being like dams and stuff. And I was just like, damn, myself.
And for me, it was more about I was working a lot and had headphones in and just listened to tons and tons of audiobooks. And
St. Pat has a question for us. What 2 Star Wars characters would you invite to spend the holidays with?
Ooh.
Rey. And Chewie. Now, if I'm going into
one of mine.
If I'm going into Legends,
the first thing in my mind was like Chewie.
Yeah.
If I am going to Legends, though, I am going to include Satele in that. Satele and Rey, what a combo!
I would say Chewie and probably Obi-Wan, because we have like there's this like I think it's a running joke in the fandom that Obi-Wan's he's got a drinking problem. Because like there's several scenes where he's like, I'm gonna get a drink and let me buy you something. So like I think he'd be a good time to have around. And Chewie just seems like be like your best friend no matter like who you are. So yeah, I think Chewie would be a good pick.
I'm just picturing like it's cold, like you have some hot chocolate, and then you just cuddle up next to Chewie. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. As far as Chewie, absolutely. As far as anyone else, I feel like it's hard to I'm having a hard time picking a number 2. You know, my first thought went to Leia, but I was like, but I ain't trying to talk politics right now. You know, that's all she talk about. You know, Han would be fun, but we'd end up doing something fairly destructive.
Gambling your life away.
Exactly. If I brought Lando, I'd have to play spades all night, which is fun, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We have a couple of people in the chat. Xcore Gamer Skill says, I'm inviting Ray and Luke. Loden.
Harrison Dula. I'm bringing her. You know, Hera can. Yeah, I'm betting she can cook. You know, she's like the team mom already, but she's fun. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hera.
Yeah, she's the one you want to invite to a potluck.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm questioning this choice, Loden Greatstorm. Prequel era Obi-Wan and Anakin. That sounds like a horrible holiday.
We still have half a kitchen.
Yeah. So it's funny to think about the holidays with those two. Did we? I don't think we ever got any material that covers them in a holiday. No.
I don't think so.
No, but we recently had that anthology book that came out.
Life Day?
Life Day, yeah. I actually haven't read it. It's one of the few that's still burning a hole. I have it. I just haven't read it yet. But I do have a question for Andrew, though. I'd love to hear, you know, when it comes to lore, do you have any favorite books or favorite characters? Anything that you go back to?
I mean, I've never been somebody that was heavily into the EU. Like I was one of those kids where it's like, oh, George Lucas doesn't acknowledge him, so I'm not going to acknowledge him. But once Disney sort of reset everything, quote unquote, that's when I really started getting into the books and everything. I think my top 3 books would probably have to be like Lost Stars, Bloodline, and I think the 3rd book in the Aftermath trilogy is up there. Although Queen's Shadow has skyrocketed. I just recently re-listened to it, and like that gave me a whole different appreciation for Padme.
Yeah.
But I think the only Legends book that I've actually got my ears on, because I listen to all the books. I'm a legendary slow reader, so if I were to read a book, it'd take me 3 years to get through. But I got like 3 books into the X-Wing series, which I really enjoyed that. Plagueis is probably my out of all the Legends books that I got my hands on. Plagueis was just like, wow, they can just drop that into canon and it's just let it be because it's so good. But yeah, that's as far as my like lore goes, because again, I'm so behind on everything. But yeah, so yeah.
Awesome.
How are you liking High Republic?
I'm just started Tempest Runner, and I'm enjoying everything. I'm known as the positive like Star Wars fan. Like there's very little in Star Wars that I don't like. So I'm very forgiving too. People are like will have problems with a certain something, and then I'll be like the first to stand up and defend it. Like, no, well, you gotta look at it this way and find the good in everything.
You're in good company.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm enjoying. I think one of the biggest things that I've liked coming out of like experiencing High Republic so far is seeing the Jedi how I think I've always wanted to see them. And one of the things I really enjoyed was how we see how different Jedi experience and this Force speaks to them in different ways. I'm blanking on character names. One Jedi might hear it as a song, another Jedi might see it as an endless ocean. I'm really loving that because it brings it back to the certain point of view type of thing. It's like everybody will have visions or something, but it all depends on how you interpret that vision and that feeling on how things will go. So I'm really seeing the Jedi as I've always imagined them to be before like the prequels came out or the sequels came out. So I'm really enjoying that part of it.
Yeah, I always tell people, hey, if you really like the Jedi, then jump into the High Republic. But also, if you really hate the Jedi, jump into the High Republic.
That's that tracks almost too scarily.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot, Choco. Okay. So let's see here. In the corporate world, this is by Beth. Obi-Wan has a drinking opportunity, not a problem.
That's true. Probably just an opportunity.
Brooke's bringing Rey to the family she likes and Kylo to the family she doesn't like. Where's Ben going then?
No. Yeah.
You just know Luke and Rey were too busy doing stuff to make plans for the holidays. As Core Gamer Skills says. Yes, Camilla, audiobooks are superior.
Brooke.
Oh yeah.
There's no way Brooke is not bringing Boba Fett.
That's true. That's highly out of character for you, Brooke.
But also, I do fully agree with y'all and Camilla that Star Wars audiobooks are superior.
Mm-hmm.
Having music and sound effects and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, if when I open up my Audible and I see narrated by Mark Thompson, I like, yep, I'm gonna enjoy this book because he's the best. He's the best narrator in my opinion because I get lost in his stories because he's so good.
Yeah.
Mark Thompson is Star Wars like audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And
except for Mace Windu.
Except for Mace Windu, yeah, he gets that southern thing going.
Yeah.
But I really want to find out because I know he loves Star Wars too, but he's gotta be a lore master if he's reading all these books, right?
I mean, imagine.
It depends. Can you retain when you're just,
or is it just a pass through? You know, it's just a black box. I don't know.
I've always wanted to ask, like, these narrators, because they obviously do voices for everybody. I always wanted to know, like, do you run the voice by the story group before you do it? Because these characters will never really reach like live action, at the very least animation. So they'll have to go back and listen because your voice is canon apparently, or obviously, because like, do you consult with them?
I'd imagine so.
There's some, because there's some characters that like their accent is like, wow, where did you come up with that? Like, how did you? So I always wondered that, because Mark Thompson's Thrawn is like, it's so good.
I mean, his Marchion Rowe is, incredible, and so hopefully we'll be getting him on here soon as well. But
that's
still
awesome.
working on that.
Dimmy says, "Hey, wow, Andrew seems like a cool guy."
That's my wife.
Oh, Dimmy, got it.
Like the name's a little bit of a.
Well, no, people always, because her nickname in the Schmodown is Dimmy, but it's her gamer tag. And Dimmy has no connection to our last name. It's this long story of a drunken night and what is it? That one website, not Reddit, the other one, 4chan. So long 4chan story. It's nothing bad, but it's a long story. But yeah.
It could
awesome.
though. Like in headcanon, it could be connected to your last name.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
Okay, so Brooke says, "Listen, I'm not on my A game today, but yes, he is a given." Okay, we'll allow it. We'll allow it for now. What else can we talk about? Oh well, yeah, we were talking about. Oh,
I have I actually do have a suggestion, because I am picking up that Andrew is a ship guy. You know, I mean, he's reading. You can see it behind him, and in his TikTok name, talking about the jumping into the Rogue Squadron books. Alphabet Squadron. Have you read them?
I've only gotten into one book. I've only gotten through the first book, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm so behind on everything, but I've been planning because they're so long. It takes so long to get through. But I did listen to the first one. I really really enjoyed it because you get into the minds of pilots. I've always wanted to be an X-wing other than a Jedi. That's like the first thing. It's like, oh, if you could be one thing in Star Wars, it's like X-wing pilot right off the bat. So just getting in, feeling behind the cockpit next to these pilots, it was so incredible to listen to.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know why that sound does that, but I'm gonna have to change that sound to be not that.
It's the lightsaber struggling to.
Too slow, too furious. Thank you for the subscription.
I'll say the third Alphabet Squadron book. I feel like I say this every week. The third is so good. Like I really liked the first book. Second book was okay. The third book was so good that I just like at the end I just was like, oh, like I felt tired. I was like,
yeah,
man. Yeah, so highly recommend for sure.
Yeah.
I also
need
recommend.
to everybody's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna. I highly recommend also that everyone listens and reads at the same time. Because with WhisperSync, you can read something at 2.5x speed, and you'll be surprised at how fast you can read with something highlighting the words and someone reading it to you. People often ask me how I finish books so fast and how I listen at 2.5x. It's because I'm reading along with it, and I don't know. It just like if I were to just listen alone to an audiobook at 2.5x, it'd probably be majority not comprehensible to me. But since I'm reading it as it's being said, it's like reading subtitles.
Yeah, I found that listening to the audiobook sometimes I'll zone out. I'm like, oh, I missed that, and I have to go back like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Also, just going back to our discussion on like Mark Thompson, I kind of feel like they would get approval for the voices because it would be really difficult to see like a live action Markion Rowe that's just, hey guys. Ride the storm.
I mean, now I kind of want to see that. Just
Yeah, because what was his name? I'm surprised I'm blanking on his name. Thrawn's like right hand man. What's his name?
Eli Vanto.
Eli like Vanto. Like he has like a wicked accent. It's like there's no way you would have been able to sneak that past the story group. You would have had to get approval for that because
It's true.
It's only a matter of time before he jumps into animation at very least because he's a very pivotal character with Thrawn. So
Yeah, Ahsoka now, name dropping Thrawn. There's a lot of implications with that. Eli Vanto, Aralani, Ezra, everyone.
yeah.
We are 11
Super
days
excited.
away from Book of Boba Fett, by the way.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on Book of Boba Fett?
I'm like when they announced it, I was like, okay. I'm not like super. I'm gonna watch it obviously because it's Star Wars, but like I was like when I heard he's getting his own series, like okay, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not like super excited for it because like Obi-Wan I can't wait for. It's like I want that like right now. Give that to me now. Boba Fett, it was kind of like all right, I think we got enough of him in Mandalorian, so it's like I was satisfied with the amount that I got from Boba Fett in the Mandalorian, but now that we're getting a whole series for him, I'm like okay, I'll watch it. It's Star Wars. But now watch it be like the best thing ever. Now that I said that.
That's tracked ever since The Mandalorian started. It's like Rebels was my favorite. Mandalorian came out and it slowly crept up on Rebels. So I'm looking forward to when Book of Boba Fett at least kind of like peeks up from below the floorboards. It's like, hey, I'm good too. You know what I mean?
I'm anxious to see how it plays with people's because one of the things I do feel like is kind of a thing in our fandom is that we all carry around a lot of headcanon, and the realization of that is what some people have problems with. So I'm curious because Boba Fett is a blank slate of a character, truly, like as an adult. he had what, like 8 lines in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And before being like unceremoniously dumped into the Sarlacc, and we don't know his motivations or anything like that. So I'm just curious how, if people's headcanons are going to be improved, aligned, disagree with. I'm curious how the reception is going to be, because even him starting out by saying, I Jabba ruled with fear and I want to rule with respect, that doesn't track well with no disintegrations.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think.
I mean, that's like the bad, like not the, like the unfortunate side of the fandom is if it doesn't align with somebody's expectation or headcanon, it's like almost immediately met with like, well, then it sucks, or it's bad because of A, B, and C. So I always try to temper my expectations, which is why this is probably the best thing that'll come out since the last thing I loved. But yeah, I think it's because like you said, there's not a lot that we have to go off of. I mean, he had his own comic book run, which I haven't touched any of the comic books because it's just so hard to keep up with weeklies. But yeah, I'm interested to see where, because still, like you said, there's all these blanks that we got to fill in with him. But like, we know the character and we know what he can do, but we don't know a lot of things that we haven't seen him since Return of the Jedi. So I'm excited to see that part of it.
Yeah. What frustrates me is that those expectations can be granular at the same time as well. So it doesn't even have to be like what they were looking for story wise. It could be something as simple as, is Boba Fett a Mandalorian? And the amount of people that get mad at me for saying it's not definitive. Jango Fett was a foundling, but that does not mean he's a Mandalorian. And they're like, well, what else would he be? It was like, I don't know, but it doesn't. It's like, it's not definitive that he's a Mandalorian. You're a foundling until you choose your path when you come of age. So it's judging from the prequel trilogy, it looks like Jango left Mandalore to become a bounty hunter. And then, add to that, Boba Fett needs to be a Mandalorian too, but like, it's clear that he did not grow up on Mandalore. He did not take the creed.
Nor does he care about them.
Yeah. but for
so
some reason
he's not good at it. I don't know.
Yeah, but for some reason everyone needs him to be Mandalorian, right? And it doesn't take away from how amazing of a character he is. If he's not Mandalorian, he's still the best bounty hunter. But some people need that minute detail, to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find is fascinating, but also frustrating. What's everyone's favorite High Republic character? Says Loden Greatstorm.
Oh.
Orla Jareni. Followed by Vernestra.
I don't have all the names straight in my head. The one that got captured at the end of the first book. What was his name?
Loden Greatstorm.
Yes.
The person that asked the question.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, I don't know.
If it's not a movie character name, because movie trivia, like that's all my brain is wrapped around right now. But yeah, if it's not a movie character, their name almost goes in my one ear and then out the other, and I have to constantly reminded of names.
Well,
but,
also like the stuff.
You gotta delete for space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've also repeatedly watched the movies and then you kind of study that trivia. Whereas, with something as new as the High Republic, you're just, you read it and then you just go on to the next new book. You're trying to keep up with the new, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But I loved his first interaction when the event was happening of him getting through the gates. It was like, we could do this the easy way. That was, oh my God. I loved that interaction. There's so much about that first book that I enjoyed, that I was listening to it and I was just like, why can't our world be like this? It's like tragedy brings out the best of people sometimes. It's like people unexpectedly would go like, I don't think I can do it, but I'll try my hardest. It's like, why can't our world be like this? It's like one of those moments in Star Wars where I was like reflecting on like, why can't our world be like this? It'd be so much better if we would just be more like these characters and be more like these stories that we love so much. So
yeah,
it's beautiful, especially God when Avar Chris is like, has her lightsaber spinning in front of her, and she's reaching out, and you're just like, I don't know. It was there's such a lot of really just hype moments.
The first hype moment that stood out to me when the High Republic came out and I was reading the book was after that moment when Avar was doing her song or choir, and she said, even as far out as wherever Yoda is, I can feel him too. And then all I could imagine while reading that was like, oh, need energy, you do. And he just spirit bombed it, you know. He was just like,
yeah, that crossed my head too. It's like, everybody give me your energy, like,
share your energy with me.
Yeah.
oh man. And then of course there was Loden deflecting a freaking starship
Oh yeah, there's
beam with his lightsaber, or was he just tanked it.
Yeah.
Ping. Okay.
So cool.
It's really hard to like put your finger down on it because there's so many awesome characters. I love Elzar. Man so much. He's just trying to do his best. You know, he's just that like plucky character. Also, I maintain that Porter Engle, who's the old Jedi Master who was known as the Blade of Bardata, he was, you know, just cooking up food, and when things go down, he turns into an absolute badass, and he's like, he'll jump on the wing of your starship and will just like, you're like, what are you doing? And he's like, don't worry about it. And just, I don't know, he has Aquaman energy for me.
That's an interesting analog that you say that, Aquaman, because like I kind of see Yoda as, so this is an interesting versus to kind of pick at. Like, I'm not normally a fan of versus battles simply because we're dealing with versions of characters that different people have of the characters. Like, we're not gonna get a prime Yoda. We don't know when Yoda was in his prime. We don't know if Yoda actually reached full potential. Like, this is like, this topic is rife with inconsistencies and problems, but I would like to see whether Porter Engle and Yoda would have an honest to goodness duel, because, and this is still, it goes hand in hand with unreliable narrators, but Bell was like, you know, describing Porter Engle's moves as like, I don't even think Yoda could do that, and I was just like, really, Bell? You know, so of course I was doubting him, but it would be cool to see if like there was a duelist in the Order that was trained by Yoda but that can surpass Yoda, because he trained everybody. It's hard to surpass the teacher. We have Alula Talasola from Camilla. Buryaga is a close second.
Yeah, he's a big sweetie.
Loden is Loden Greatstorm's favorite character as well.
Surprise, surprise.
Kenny's on break finally. What's up, Kenny? Thank you for tuning in. We got some Elzar Mans. Okay. We have a Vernestra and Comac Vitus. Very, very nice. Lorna. Oh, Lorna shot up after Tempest Runner.
Yeah.
And I don't. You said you just started it, right? So I'm not gonna spoil it.
I just started Tempest. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Doza. Welcome to the show. We are discussing our favorite High Republic Star Wars characters right now. And I do believe, oh, you did pick your ship. Did you?
Doza picked a ship, and I assume, I mean, is this based off of Captain Emmanuel Doza from Resistance? Is that where the name comes from? Because I might have an idea of what ship you might have picked.
Nothing to do with that.
Aww.
She's a Mendoza, but I don't. Doza, let us know if you watched Star Wars Resistance or not. I don't think you have, but it is her last name.
Okay. That's funny. I mean, also, I feel like some people, there's some characters in Star Wars where I feel like they were picked for certain things. Like Lando. I feel like his full name is probably just Orlando, and he cut off the OR, you know?
Yeah.
Like the Dozas may actually be Mendozas. Like I don't know, he's got the accent and the swagger. I don't know, I see it.
Lando's full name is actually like really wild.
That's right. L3 says the full name.
It's that his middle name is we have a joke, inside joke between me and my wife how to remember it, but his full name is Landonus Balthazar Calrissian.
Yeah.
So it's like wow, that's wild.
Balthazar makes sense. Landonus still doesn't.
Yeah.
But I like Lando's name primarily for the usage of like calling someone that we just picked up at random in a game. Instead of a rando, I call him Rando Calrissian. Just the full name. Or a Marlon Rando.
I almost went with the name Brando for myself.
as an online handle?
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Brandon is my first name, and so Brando Calrissian. I was like, I feel like it's smooth, like a
but no,
Colt 45 malt liquor.
Wow, you actually almost went with. So would it have been Darth Brando or just Brando Calrissian?
There's a lot that was being workshopped. Darth Chocolate though ended up being the selection for many years before I ever made any content, and then of course the one place where it takes off is TikTok, where I can't be Darth Chocolate, and that's where Darth Choco was born.
What about you, Andrew? Do you have a handle or an alias, as hackers call it?
Rogue Leader is pretty much everything. Gamer tag. I think all my other Twitter, like the Twitter, Instagram, it's Drew DiMolanta everywhere else, but Rogue Leader is like my handle for everything.
Gotcha.
So but Rogue Leader was taken on TikTok, so I had to add the Drew on the end of it. So yeah.
Just like Element 7, and I don't know what kind of content they make. But so now I'm just Element 7, and I'm trying to vocalize the underscores. Element 7. Kenny says, I don't know many people who have, and I know I haven't. I need to because it's canon, but it's just not to my liking. Oh, Resistance. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes
Resistance
a couple.
It's fun.
It's
fun. It's only 2 seasons, so it's nice and compressed. So if you want to get through it, you can get through it in the weekend. Just breeze through it.
Absolutely. The one thing that I say often
The
for people.
force is strong with this one.
DePaul super chatted $5, dropping some ramen love.
Hey, shout out to DePaul for dropping some ramen love, $5 of that, or more correctly, super chatting. $5.
Super chatted.
Thank you, DePaul. Your unofficial sponsorship is much appreciated. And happy holidays to you and your family. One thing I say about Resistance, whenever someone asks, is that I think it's exactly 6 episodes until it gets good. Like, it is exactly that long.
Mm-hmm.
What it suffers from for me is trying to become a day in the life of Kaz, whereas when the Colossus leaves the planet and starts running and we start galaxy hopping, that's when it gets really good. And that's when they canceled it, and I was like, no.
It didn't need to be canceled though, because it caught up with the movies.
Yeah, but some shows
Picard.
extend.
No, I would have loved for it to continue, mostly because I think, like I said, it just came out too close to the films that it was near, and so if they're writing Rise of Skywalker, can't also have this going on in the background and worry that they might step on each other's toes, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I saw it. But I really enjoyed the show. I was surprised because I remember it being really slow, taking a long time to get into it. And then I rewatched it, you know, and I was like, no, this is actually pretty good. I think it suffers from not having the Force in it. I think there's a lot of, for its target demographic, if you threw in more Force lore, more Force users, I think that's what they might have needed.
I think that's why I enjoyed it. It was like because a lot of people was like, get away from, you know, known characters and known elements about, like, and then I think it's very bold to have a Star Wars show and not allude anything to the Force. And it's like that. I like the sort of contained story element of it, or it's like it is just a life of a guy in the Star Wars universe. I really like that part about it, but the only way it was connected, because it was connected to the Resistance, he's supposed to be spying and stuff like that. So I kind of enjoyed that it didn't have Force users in it. So
also, I guess like Tam, one of the best stories in Star Wars, when you get Tam's reasons for being and the stuff going on with her family, and then you know the turn for season 2. Yeah, I felt that.
Darthman86 says, my original handle was Darth Assassin, but changed it to Darth Man for my love of both Marvel and Star Wars. Oh, I just thought you liked man. Just the like mankind. You're just like, I am Darth Mankind without the kind, you know?
Was that like a YouTube personality, Mankind? He wore a mask? No? Okay.
YouTube personality? That was a wrestling.
WWE, wrestling.
Oh.
Mick Foley. That's a name I know.
I got out of wrestling a long time ago. And then popped back in for a little bit, but basically people called me Mark Henry too often. And so I was like, you know what? No.
It's weird because for the longest time I was getting wrestling stuff on my TikTok feed. I was like, I don't search out wrestling stuff, so it took me a month to get it off my For You page. So that was weird for a while.
It's just, they throw random stuff at you, and then if you watch it all the way through, they're like, he didn't like it, but he might be into this.
I think it's like I watched a video all the way through of like a behind the scenes like documentary thing with, I think it was Diamond Dallas Page or either that or Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was really enjoying the video, and I think TikTok was just like, Andrew likes wrestling. No.
Bang bang. Let's see here.
I always laugh because sometimes you want to get to a certain corner, but you can't get to that corner of TikTok until it's just funny how it works.
St. Pat says, I need them to finish the story in Resistance. It bugs me that it just left hanging. So that's something that they could do if they continued. But also, I kind of feel like they knew that they were going to cancel it like early on in season 2. And so they kind of veered the story to quickly catch up with the sequels. But at the same time, we need to be able to have shows that intersect with the main stories and then go off on their own after they're done, because like that would be funny if like season 3 they're like on Agent Kloss and they're just talking about, you know, what happened on Exegol, and it's the aftermath, and you know, off in the distance, right, like in one of the frames you see Rey, Finn, and Poe just hugging, just like really tiny in the frame, just in the background. And then Resistance continues with that stories. You know what I mean? I know it doesn't make sense because the Resistance is no longer needed, but
no, that's not true. There's still wrap-up operations to go. There's still other bases, and you know, their leadership and organization structures is gone. But even if we're watching The Mandalorian, it's 5 years later, and there's still Imperials with their own little hidey holes, like hanging out and stuff. I think there's a story there.
That was that one thing that I was really like hoping we would have seen, because the novelization of the Rise of Skywalker, when everybody shows up and then you hear people over comms, you hear Kaz and everybody. I'm like, why wasn't this in the film? This is awesome. It would go over so many people's heads, but I was like, people like, you know, that have like are seen everything and are like canon junkies would be like, I know that person. It'd be so crazy. But I was like, why wasn't this in the film? At least like something. But like, and that one. Yeah, and that one thing that the one thing that I will say about like that whole sequence with Wedge Antilles, because Wedge Antilles is my favorite pilot, and it's like we got to see him, but put him in an X-wing. Don't put him in the Falcon. Put him in an X-wing, please.
Which is also why you left Aftermath. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I'm caught up. Although I would love to see that crew. What were they called? Was that Wraith Squadron?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of old pilots, just like just doing missions and stuff. I would love it.
Catching up with the chat, Kiki from the PNW is here, fashionably late, but I have arrived. Welcome, Kiki. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Brooke says, I've thought about changing my @ to Obi-Wan's mullet, but I feel like B Dazzler is just who I am now. No, you're Brooke Dazzler. I used to say B Dazzler every time I saw her name, but now I just say Brooke Dazzler. And I say it with that cadence and that kind of flow. So whenever she joins in, I'm just like, hello, Brooke Dazzler.
Speaking of B Dazzler, we're not sponsored or anything, but it's a good time to share the knowledge of Far Far Away Factory.
It is a good time to share. Let us go here. Oh, and Santa's part of the scene too. Etsy.com/Far Far Away Factory /shop/Far Far Away Factory. Great, amazing, earrings, shoes, t-shirt designs, jacket designs. It's all done by our good friend Brooke Dazzler. Once again, Brooke Dazzler. Also, she's
which is not her name. So people won't find her.
And again, I will try to vocalize her name on TikTok. If you want to follow her on TikTok, it's B Dazzler or _ and of course Far Far Away Factory on Instagram as well. Yeah.
And also for anyone, I did push back the release of the final episode of Voyage of Destruction. So for anyone that doesn't know, we did a one-shot tabletop RPG that was set in the High Republic with myself, Element 7 here. We have B Dazzler, was an amazing character who makes us all look stupid.
Once again, Brooke Dazzler.
Cal 4 joined us. Shayla Wren joined us, and we just had a blast. So we've been posting it weekly. But just due to some complications and time constraints, it's not an episode this week. We're going to be putting up some promotional stuff from each of us, but it's coming. It'll be coming out, and it's going to come out on Christmas Day. So,
ooh, that's a hard deadline for me. for a lot of things.
Oh, for those, okay.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for those. We can keep those trickling out as well as to promote it after the fact. But yeah, a lot of fun. Check it out on youtube.com/Darth Choco.
I'll at least have one of them. I'll have Malik's, our GM's, or DM's video.
And then also, I got to shout out our buddy here at Han Talks First. I've had the privilege of hopping on his podcast. I was actually about to reach out to you on something upcoming, but yeah, Han Talks First. This is happy to make it to another stream. Happy to have you always.
Awesome. Kiki is also looking for a name for TikTok. And she is entertaining Kiki from Endor, which since they filmed Endor in the Redwoods, which is near the PNW. What do you guys think? Do you have any suggestions for Kiki?
I mean, it's almost too apropos since in our RPG, Shayla Wren plays an Ewok named Tiki. So it feels painfully close.
Kiki Endor? Or Tiki Endor?
Kiki can be Tiki's cousin.
That is true. I mean, I have another suggestion for a name. Damn!
No comment.
Same pass as Darth Choco. I was so tempted to DM you about that. What are we talking about?
About the episode not being released today.
Gotcha. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season. Thank you, Han Talks first.
Yes.
We hope you are
just got
equally having a happy holiday season as well.
I don't know about you guys. I literally finished my Christmas shopping like an hour ago.
Nice.
I'm such a terrible gift giver. Like, I was like, oh, what do I get this person? So thank God for Amazon Prime. Just saying that.
Yeah, I mean, screw Jeff Bezos, but yes.
Yeah, but it's still procrastination is like
Everyone
the name of the
sends
game
their
over here.
everyone sends their wish lists really early. I'm the only one that does not have one. So good luck to everybody in my family who is looking to know what I wanted, but I don't know. I feel it's like personally for me, it's weird to have a wish list. For some odd reason, is it just me? Like I don't know what I want most of the time, you know?
Oh, well, I know what I want, but everything I want is like too expensive. So,
well, that's a given, right? Like there are some expensive things I want, yes.
yeah.
But in terms of like, you know, what do you want for Christmas? It's usually like, I'm not really sure. Like I don't want anything. I already got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm pretty easy to buy. It's like everybody's like, so what Star Wars thing you want this year, Andrew? It's like, if it has Star Wars on it, it's fine.
That's my wife does that all the time. She's like, you know, with extra money, do you want anything? I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't know.
But luckily,
although
like
for anyone, for anyone who is looking for things still, just see if my wife is there. Macy's has a wonderful sale on jewelry at the moment. So just saying.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Roger that. Macy's. We're not sponsored by Macy's. But luckily my nephews are still at the age where they believe in Santa, so we get their Santa letters and it's easy to
nice.
get their stuff. And also alarming to get them stuff, like when an 8-year-old asks for a machine gun, you're like, do I? Is this something that I don't know, because I looked up at the toy guns that they have on Amazon, and they do say 8 to 12, and I'm just like, are we really teaching kids to play with machine guns at that age? Like, this one has a bayonet, and I'm just like,
Oh, no.
And an American flag.
Well, coming from a parent, always keep the parent in mind, because like if you get them a Nerf machine gun, they're just gonna have to either build it, repair it, or pick up the darts or whatever projectiles there are. So
oh yeah, they have a whole bunch of Nerf guns already. I think what they asked for was an electric machine gun. Like it was just like a toy gun that like did the sounds.
Oh, that makes sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like you just mentioned, you have a at least one little one.
Yes, it's just one. We're only having one. So made the decision real quick. But yeah, she's 3, so her middle name is Ray for obvious reasons.
Oh,
So,
that's so awesome.
yeah, it's just her full name just flows right off the tongue, even with our last name. So it's like her first name we decided years before she was born, even before we're considering having children. But we're like, we're gonna have her middle name have something. We'd have to have something Star Wars in her name, right? So Ray was just a nice fit with all 3 of them. So
she's not a Malanta. She's a Skywalker. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We're getting into that conversation now. Okay.
I have permission from my wife, if we ever have any kids, that for a boy, the names Thane and Quinlan are on the table.
Ooh.
So
our boy Quinlan's coming back no matter what.
We did have the jokes like when we announced we were my wife was pregnant. They're all like, so if it's a girl, you're gonna name her Leia, right? Like, no, I'm not doing that to my daughter. And if it's a boy, you're gonna name him Luke, right? It's like, no, I'm not doing that to my kid. No, there's no way. So we still got the Star Wars in there.
$1.99. The light and life. And ramen.
Thank you.
I was
Loden.
expecting you to be like, no, we're not gonna name him Luke. We're gonna name him Wedge.
Thank you, Loading Great Storm, for the $2 ramen drop for Light and Life. Yes, sir, for Light and Life. We are all the Republic. I'm just imagining the conversation that you have, or someone might have with your daughter at some point when they are able to vocalize, and then they're like, "Who are you?"
I'm Ray.
Ray de Malanta.
Ray who? Yeah, we put for her 3rd birthday. I put the Ray buns on her hair because her hair was finally long enough for it, and like pictures all over the place. It was so much fun. But yeah, she recognizes, like, she actually does recognize Ray. She recognizes BB-8, R2. I think Vader was the last character we fully got her to recognize. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Kids are nowhere near the horizon for Camilla, but working in a Padme somehow feels on brand. I think that would be rather easy to do, but of course you'd have to check with your partner. Because Padme is a it's a beautiful name, you know. You could also say it gently, which is a big thing for me.
Can we also just talk about how Camilla is just a wonderful name in and of itself? I don't know. It's not a Star Wars name, but I like Camilla's name.
It is a nice name to say as well. Name your son Obi-Wan. That's a little bit too on the nose. I feel like you can give a son a middle name, Kenobi.
That could work.
But Obi-Wan is just like, I think you're trying hard there, trying too hard on that one. It's like giving your son the full name Han Solo, then your last name. Just full on doing it, you know?
Chris in the chat says, naming my daughter Sienna, which is a beautiful name, and I would use that for a girl if I didn't already want to have Thane for a boy. And they can't both be. You can't. No.
Yeah. Do we have people trying to name their kids Anakin?
I'll have a boy. You have a girl, Chris, and then we'll have play dates for little Thane and Sienna.
Ooh. Okay. I have to give some thought now to this. The answer right after this commercial break. No, I'm just kidding.
Is commercials on streams?
I wish we were at that point. Could you imagine? But I don't know. I don't. There are a lot of names. There are a lot of names that I would think about in terms of trying to insert Star Wars in like an offspring. Sorry to say that in such a
I was like, why did he say that?
Such a crude way of saying.
If I were okay, so if I had a kid,
If I were to name progeny,
yes. If I were to name my that's a great word. Thank you, Brandon. If I were to name my progeny, it would be. I don't know if I would be able to work Yoda into anything tastefully, because that is quite a unique name. And it sounds like a pet name more than anything.
Yeah.
Don't know what I would name.
but you can always like have it like Yodario, and then shorten it to Yoda. I don't know.
You know, that is a great Filipino name, and I might take that into advisement. Yudaria sounds.
Yudaria sounds fun.
Yeah, especially. You can definitely legitimately shorten it to Yoda for sure as a nickname, but like having a full name Yudaria, that's actually not. That's not bad at all. That's a great name. Brandon's like, I do that sometimes. Oh man.
Chris brings up a great point. I think I will have to name my kid with a Chis naming.
All right. So what is it, Chris? What would his be?
Night.
Dare someone to name their kid Mithron Urodo. Someone could make it work, I think. Honestly, a first name Myth sounds awesome. Middle name Ron, like Ron Weasley, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like confirmation name Urodo. Like, I don't know. I just like the name Myth, like as in like mythology. That's a cool first name. What's up? My name is
And if they don't
Myth.
like being called Myth, you can just call him Ron.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just call you Ron then.
Yeah.
What's up? My name's Myth. What about you? My name's Lore. Awesome. We're gonna get along well. What about you? Encyclopedia? Nice. This is my friend Tome. Nice to meet you, Tome. That over there is Grimoire. We call him Grim though.
I still feel bad because I feel like I bullied this guy, and I didn't mean to. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but I'm not a little guy. My wife and I moved into a place when we first got married, and we met this guy, and he wanted to like look tough or whatever, but he was this little scrawny black guy, and I introduced myself because he was like a neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he was saying his name was Tank, but I couldn't understand him. But he's a
like
little guy, like, I'm Tank.
As in like a war tank?
Yeah, but I couldn't understand him. So he was like, oh, I'm Brandon. What's your name? Tank. I was like, what? Like, Tank. Like, what? And he goes, Billy.
What?
Oh no.
It's like, no, I didn't understand. I'll call you Tank. I'll call you a big guy or whatever you want, But I feel like I bullied him into being called Billy. I still feel bad.
Brandon
Wow.
inadvertently changed someone's name.
Just call me Bill.
I think Brandon was the first You're Not a Skywalker, like back then. Just had caused someone to change their name. Dang.
Yeah. Although I had a question for Andrew, and we actually want to talk games because you have the gaming headset. You mentioned the gaming tab, and what's your all-time favorite game and all-time favorite Star Wars game specifically?
Oh, that's another loaded question.
A loaded
Wow.
question where the answer is Chrono Trigger. Just kidding.
I mean, I'm a huge Metal Gear fan.
Okay.
I don't think I've enjoyed a game more than. Oh god, it's tied for the original Metal Gear Solid and MGS3. Those are the two I enjoy the most.
I was mouthing Snake Eater.
Yeah, Snake Eater. I love the gameplay, but story-wise, the first one is just like it blew me away. But we play. I just recently got back into Rocket League. My wife hates it, but I love Rocket League. But we played. I did a video on it. We play Overwatch almost every weekend. So
Nice.
On what? On what?
PC. I'm a PC gamer. I started as a console gamer, then I switched over to the PC. So
I kind of feel like we should.
Yeah.
We
gotta play sometime though.
We should get some like
Who do you
Rocket
main?
League games in with like a bunch of people.
yeah, I love Rocket League. It's so much fun. But yeah, I'd say yeah. But best Star Wars game, I mean Rogue Squadron. It's enough said right there. It's my tag, so I really enjoyed the Rogue Squadron games.
Really, that's very out of
Absolutely.
character.
Oh, surprise! But I gotta ask, who do you main in Overwatch though?
I am a
Zenyatta.
tank support. I'm a tank support, so I'm a Reinhardt main and an Ana main. So
Okay.
for the longest time, because like I got stuck in the tank role, and I was like, I want to play something else. I want to play DPS. But then I kept playing it, and Reinhardt and Ana are my favorite characters to play. So yeah.
Camilla says, "Okay, y'all gotta slide out, but it's been fun. Gotta show my parents Rogue One for the first time. They have no idea what they're in for."
Oh.
Ooh. Thank you for
God,
tuning
there's
in,
so
Camilla.
many times. There's so many times where I want to go back, like when I meet somebody and they had never seen Star Wars, and like I show it to them for the first time. I'm always envious of that first experience. Like
Yeah.
we'll never get that again. Like I will never have like my best Star Wars memory in recent years was when I saw Force Awakens the first time. We'll never have an experience like that ever again. The hype leading up, staying in line to get my seats from 11 in the morning to 7:30 when the screening was. So like staying like 3 laptops in front of me to get my tickets. I'll never have an experience like that ever again. So I'm envious of people that get to experience Star Wars for the first time. So
Yeah.
We might have that experience again if everyone just got vaccinated.
yeah, but like I mean, theater seats are reservations now. You can like almost every movie theater that I've been to recently is assigned seating. So, but like,
Yeah.
we don't have to wait in lines anymore. it's like all like,
Yeah.
Oh, I was waiting in a
backseat.
line for No Way Home.
Oh,
I was waiting.
I
just saw that today. Oh my god, so good, so good.
And I don't want to say anything because I don't know who in the chat has or hasn't seen it. I will say several times I wept way harder than I thought I should. I was just like,
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
multiple times. Yeah.
Multiple times in the same scene. Multiple times in multiple scenes.
one of my commenters were like, I only cried once, but I just cried for half of the film. But it's only one time, you know?
Just continuous tears.
That's fair. That's fair. You walk out dehydrated, you know? But it's cool.
Just
It's
read-
worth it.
I just read Chris's message. Just call him Toby then, Choco.
I do have a question for you guys. What Star Wars, like anything, were you we'll narrow it to movies, but like what Star Wars movie were you the most emotional with? Like straight off like nerd tears, like whether emotional tears, like you know, nostalgia tears or anything. Because I'm on record saying that I've never been as emotional I've ever been watching a movie with Rise of Skywalker at the end when like everybody's hugging each other. I'm like, oh,
That did
Yeah.
elicit tears, but
Mhm.
I think the most emotional moment for me was watching Luke pass in The Last Jedi.
mm-hmm.
Like that moment was so hype for me because when he reveals, like, so when he gets, like, you know, his projection is stabbed, I thought, my first viewing, I thought, oneness with the Force. He's doing it, like he's turning Super Saiyan. But he didn't, and it showed that he was, like, you know, doing his best to maintain a projection. I was like, holy crap, he's doing this from all the way from Octo. And then, like, just the setup with the two suns, and him looking off into it and just being, like, exhausted, but he had a smile on his face and he was ready to let go, and that was just like, that was it for me. I was defeated emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, I got a surprise, same. Mostly because, you know, I mean, I picked up earlier when Kylo Ren was like, "You couldn't be doing this. This much effort would kill you." You know, I picked up when he said that the first time because it was one of those out of place things where you're like, "Oh, it's gonna be a thing later." Gotcha. I'll drop that down. And so the whole time when it was revealed, you know, to be that, I was like, "Oh no, Luke's gonna die." Like, don't die. You can do it. He's not gonna do it. You know, and I had that going the whole time, and I also felt it when Leia got sucked out of the ship. You know, it was just like, no. No. I
had the same feeling. Yeah.
But for me, like The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker had similar. I still put The Last Jedi a little bit in front of it, but the whole "there's more of us" that got me. That moment got me too.
I will say, like, that there's more of us. If they wouldn't have put that shot in the trailer, I think that would have hit so hard with audiences, because it's like the second you see it in the trailer, it's like, oh, they're all gonna show up. So I really wish they didn't put that in the trailer, because they would have hit so hard. It's like, oh, everybody's here. Like, look at all those ships. Oh my god! But we saw it in the trailer, so we knew it was coming.
But like you said, if they also had included all the call-outs,
like, I'm saying, man, it's like
Inferno Squadron here, like, oh god, there's so many good ones.
And I also would have wished, like, at the end, like, if give me Wedge until he's gonna explain. It's like, all right, Rogue Squadron, call in, like. It would have been so great. But
I'd hate to be the person that watches that scene with more of us and be like, oh my gosh, this is so cheesy. Like, like people coming to the rescue.
I love cheese. You ever have pizza? Cheese is good.
Kiki says Rogue One broker. It is very emotional. I did.
The end of that movie
for Chirrut, yeah.
It's pretty hot and heavy.
Yes.
Get it?
I just got it.
It's integrated.
I just got it.
I bawled when Han died, and then in TLJ when I thought Leia died. Yeah, lots of deaths.
Yeah, and I will say, it was like when Han initially died, I didn't get it, but it's always Chewie that made it real for me. You know what I mean? Like when Han gets stabbed, it's like, oh no, and then Chewie screams, it's like, oh, okay, it's real. But then when Leia passes, it's like, oh no, but then Chewie finds out, and that's the moment that makes it real. It's like, oh, come on.
What's even more heartbreaking, if you are like a fan of the finer details and you're a lore person, you realize that Wookiees self-isolate when they grieve, and you see Chewie
trying to self-isolate,
swiping at people who's trying to console him because when he's grieving, and I'm just like, man, that is a rough grieving process.
Yeah, they I was gonna say another one is Mando season 2 when R2 rolled up at the end. Not the Luke stuff, but just specifically when R2 rolled up.
That got me.
I had some feels there.
Some teary-eyed laughter when R2 like beeped at Grogu.
They recognize each other. Yeah.
That was
It's like, bro, you made it? Yeah.
It's like, oh, you made it out.
Sorry about my master.
Where you been, man?
He had a bad day.
I couldn't help you. I had to stay with the ship. There are so many emotional moments in Star Wars, Loden. Yes, that is true. You can point to any point in Star Wars media, and there will be emotional moments. More recently, the books.
But I always talk about this moment specifically. I already know, Pep already knows exactly what we're going to talk about. But in Light of the Jedi, at the very beginning, when the guy, he has a crappy job and his boss sucks, and like there's a hot Twi'lek bartender that he wants to ask out on a date. That one got me. Because I'm just because his story was so real. You know, he was just a regular person. He was what you or me or any of us were at some point in time, and he never got to conclude his story.
Yeah.
That one hit me.
Yeah, the beginning of that book is so good because like it was so well crafted to like you get you in this short span you were with these characters. You understood where their place was in the galaxy. You got attached to their story, and that quick, they're gone. It's like, come on, man.
And that was like the what is it called? That tempered you for the rest of the High Republic. Because after that, I was like, well, now I'm just not gonna get attached to anybody. Screw you. But then I did.
No,
so
I can't feel anymore.
Brooke still hasn't been able to rewatch the season 2 finale of Mando.
Okay, my wife hasn't watched it at all, and she's like, but my wife is someone that like, if she knows the movie is going to be like intense, needs a spoiler because like she'll get anxiety, and she's like, I know he's going to give up Grogu at the end, and I don't want to see it. I can't do it. She's like,
oh no.
Is she like waiting for the new season and like for like the continuation to be available? Because I know some people who like won't watch it until they're able to past the finale. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to see the finale until the next one is available.
It's almost worse.
Sort of, but yeah, I mean, like
you're still waiting for something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that specifically, but I'm certainly gonna pitch it that way.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so you could probably sell it where, like, the season 3 premiere of Mando is him getting Grogu back. We all know it's gonna happen. Let's see. Revenge of the Sith will always get me, though. Anakin and Obi-Wan, it kills me every time. Brothers. Yeah. That part nowadays doesn't have as much of effect on me than it did when I first watched it, because it's been memed to death, and sometimes that destroys the impact of a scene for me. And so while I won't like blame people for memeing, like it just, you know what I mean?
And that's kind of what keeps, I believe that's what keeps Revenge of the Sith outside of my top 3, is because it's been so heavily memed that there's certain scenes I just can't take seriously anymore, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate side effect, really, of popularization of a certain scene. But like half the time I can't watch that scene without hearing Google Translate. Like na 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 yeah. It's funny when I saw it, but now it's just like I can't unhear it, you know.
For me, I can't watch it without hearing Backstroke of the West. Do not want.
Oh yeah.
Andrew, what's your top 3?
Top 3 like anything, or top 3 movies?
Movies.
Empire, Force Awakens, and then A New Hope.
Ooh, that's interesting. We got some New Hope love.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things that you run into when you're giving ranks is that whatever rank that you give, it means you hate the rest. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I love everything about Star Wars.
So A New Hope is low on my ranking.
What do I love more?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's low on my ranking simply because, like, well, a large part has to do with just, like, how they opened up the movie with just R2 and 3PO, like, walking in a desert. It was a pretty long time. Like, there would...
George Lucas wanted it way longer.
Yeah.
Count your lucky stars.
But... You know, when you post that stuff, it's like, why do you hate A New Hope? I'm like, but I don't, you know. It's like saying my favorite character is Luke Skywalker, so you hate Qui-Gon Jinn? No, this is not how lists work. But yeah, it's interesting to see some New Hope love. I'm pretty sure there's some people in the chat also that rate it pretty high. What about... So what's the next three then?
The next three? Ooh, it switches from day to day. Like, obviously from rewatching the movies, because I have to for Schmodown over and over again, it constantly, like, Rogue One used to be, like, bottom 4. But then it like it keeps every time I watch Rogue One, it creeps up higher and higher on my list. Because there's just so many, like, minute details and lore that I, like, find new appreciation for, like the scene when they're debating on whether or not to go to Scarif or not. I love and hate that scene all in one, because, like, it's like one person shouting out, like, we got to do this one thing, but it's like this council of people falling back on the same mistakes as the Old Republic, of, like, bickering about what we think is right when we know this one person is shouting to us what is right. But yeah, it switches from day to day. I think Rogue One is up there in the next three. Then I would have to go with Return of the Jedi, because that was my childhood favorite. And then, ooh, that's tough. I think Last Jedi is in there too. So it switches on what mood I'm in, basically. But I think the top three is always kind of like solidified: Empire, Force, A New Hope.
What intrigued me about my ranking as soon as I released it, someone commented, and I totally agreed that apparently somehow the ranking is one of each from each trilogy in sets of 3s. So there's Empire, The Last Jedi, Revenge of the Sith. Then there is Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and The Phantom Menace. And then there is The Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones, and A New Hope. So it's basically like my favorites of each trilogy in stacks of 3. So whereas like each top 3 has one from each movie. So I wouldn't even call them orders within their sets. They would just be like my first favorite 3, my second favorite 3, my third favorite 3. You know?
Yeah. And I find myself also being an anomaly in the fact that, like, my top 3 are The Last Jedi, Empire, Return of the Jedi. But if you were to ask me my favorite trilogy overall, it'd be the prequel trilogy, even though none of those are represented in that top 3. And even though The Last Jedi is my favorite, the sequel trilogy overall would be my least favorite. But I still love all of them. And so yeah, it gets messy that way. But no, it's always interesting. That's why I always like to ask people like their top 3, so I can silently judge them. No, you can get a sense of like what type of elements they really enjoy in their stories. You know, if they're all really character driven ones, or story event driven movies, or things like that. That's why movies that are just more event driven are less there for me. Rogue One being one of them. It was last on my list for a long time. But in addition to this, I also have the High Ground podcast, and I went through all of the movies and had people on that love each and every one of those films. And when we got to Rogue One, and they explained to me all of the things, all of those subtle nuances and stuff like that that I missed. Check out Sunflower Stardust and Flow Ducks on TikTok. Those were the two people that came on for that episode. And yeah, there was just a bunch of stuff I missed. My life circumstances, my point of view, stuff like that. Just missed it. Raised it quite a bit.
And that's what you get when you have positive discourse with people. You gain insight into their perspective and their points of view and what resonates with them, because story doesn't resonate the same way across the board. There's no general consent. There's no objectively good story. There's no objectively bad written story. It's in all of what resonates with you and what clicks with you. X-Core Gamer still says, I called ESB overrated, so apparently that means it isn't good. So I would like a consensus on whether or not overrated is a negative term. What do you guys think?
It's one of those things where it's colloquially yes, but in actuality no.
So how would you define it, Andrew?
I think I'd agree with that. It's like it has like a negative connotation to it. It's like, oh, it's over. That means people hype it up too much. But I don't know. I could take it either way.
So, well, obviously it doesn't mean that it isn't good, core. But I'm trying to think of like perhaps like I would agree to a degree. That sounds weird. I would agree to an extent that ESB or Empire is on a lot of people's list, and because I have had friends where they worship the movie, but they can't point to a moment in that movie that like they really like. They're just like, man, I just really love it. I'm like, okay, well, come on, work with me here. There is an air of, proximity bias and bandwagoning that happens for sure.
That's what I would say. The bandwagoning, which of course, like whatever you like and dislike whatever you dislike. It's like, I think the band Nickelback is overhated. Doesn't mean I like them, but I don't think they are worthy of being the butt of as many jokes as they are.
And they say that a hero. Brooks, let's see here. TLJ, ESB, and Attack of the Clones. My character-driven middle children. That's pretty. That's that tracks. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about really quickly before we wrap things up, as we're running out of time?
Well, I would like to call on Andrew to give us a pitch. I think we need to make a segment where all of our guests have to do some sort of pitch for something. If you were going to create a story or a game or something like that in Star Wars, Matt Martin was like, "Hey,
you have the stamp.
We're at ideas. What do we do next? What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell Joe Biden when he gets the Oval Office?"
You joke, but that we bing bong say it all the time in this house. Wow.
I'm gonna give him a big old kiss.
Hey, yo. Wow, what do you put me on the spot? Wow. I mean, obviously, it would have to be. I mean, it is. That was the one thing about Resistance that I wish I would have seen more of was the racing part of it.
Mhm.
So maybe something like because there's this what book was it? It was I think it was in Bloodline.
Fast and the Furious. Oh, sorry.
No.
No,
I think
but there are racers in Bloodline.
Yeah,
Han
I think it was in
is-
Bloodline where Han would take somebody under, like she was explaining how like Han's relationship with like Luke and I think it was not Cortell, it was somebody else.
Greer.
Greer, yeah. He would always take like a young person under his wing and like mentor them, even though like he'd give them tough love, like I'm just like I'm not gonna be nice to you, type of deal. I would like maybe just like space races, something like that. I think that would be fun to explore. Again, trying to get away from like, I love the Force and the lore and how it's the mystical elements of the Force. I love that, but get away from the Force a bit more. I want to see more of like, because X-Wing guy, obviously pilots. I want to see like space races and like conflict and all that stuff. I would love to see something like that, just because like that kind of spoke to me in Resistance. Like, oh, they're tuning up their ships to get ready for the race, and like, oh, this one thing isn't working. How do you fix it mid-race or something like that? I would really like to see something like that, because that was one of the rare comic books I actually did pick up, with Han going on that secret mission in that one race. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I think something like that would be intriguing to do. So.
That would be freaking awesome, especially because like in that book when they go to Pamarth and it's just like Scandinavia, like it's like Finland, where everyone has to know how to be a rally driver. But to see something like that in Star Wars would just be awesome.
Yeah, Robert Kenobi says GTR X-Wing. Would that be called Grand Touri?
Well, he's saying GTR. I'm assuming he's referencing Skyline.
Probably, yeah.
And it'd be pretty cool to be somebody discover light speed skipping and is like, they're cheating. They're light speed skipping.
Hit the nos. That would. I mean, I would watch that for sure. I would love, like just the way you talk about like tuning things, like. Just getting down and dirty within like the mechanics of the starships, which is really
because that was one thing that I always loved about like it's such a small little stupid thing in Rogue One, like pilot jargon. Like I immediately like gets me like oh, like because the one thing about I think Force Awakens with and like a couple of other like star battles, it sounds like people like us. Hey, he's behind you. Hey, is this like that's not how pilots talk. It's like, hey, check your six, stuff like that. Like anytime something like that finds its way into like the dialogue, I like my ears perk. I'm like, oh, that's cool, because like, there's this one moment in Rogue One where they're coming into Scarif and K2 goes landing track engaged, and then Bodhi comes in and goes landing track locked. I'm like, give me more of that, please. I love hearing stuff like that. It's such a small, stupid thing, but I think stuff like that, hearing more and seeing more stuff like that in Star Wars would be super rad.
My favorite jargon
just feel it.
is I thought that was Robert Kenobi with that RB-26. I was like, dang, we're getting deep into it now. My favorite jargon is S-foils in attack position.
Yep.
Give
me more stuff like that.
Choco.
Rhubarb, peas and carrots.
That's not. You gotta hit the e-brake and.
First, you gotta pull that e-brake, then you gotta power over. I quote all of the Fast and Furious movies way too often, specifically Too Fast, Too Furious, which is this is probably the worst one, but my favorite. Anyhow, no, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like when reading Lost Stars and they're in school and they have to race the little thing, and the race is like just make it through all of these checkpoints and then back here, however you want.
Oh yeah, the speeder bike. Yeah.
And they're on the speeder bikes, like just I don't know, that stuff just like just speaks to me. But I would love to. I would love to have people kind of live in that environment where they have to like fix their own and like have to be able to like, okay, we've crash landed. I need to make a gun out of this thing and take it apart and like figure out all those intricacies.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Tony
just
Stark
really cool. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a pitch that is unique. And what's going on with you, Choco? Did you get hit in the funny bone?
Oh no, I was going to reference the show where the guy like makes stuff. Like he's like, all we have is like 3 paper clips and a banana. I need to make a bomb.
Oh my god.
MacGyver.
Yeah.
MacGyver.
I couldn't think of the name of the show, and the only show that was coming to my mind was Matlock.
Completely wrong.
Yeah, that is in the opposite direction there.
And so I'm just like, oh, we need a Star Wars Matlock.
Nope.
No,
We need a
we don't.
Magoo.
What?
Oh,
So that's
man.
that's what was bouncing my head.
All right, so we are at the end of this episode, this holiday special. Again, congratulations to the winners of the Who Will Survive giveaway, Matthew and Gustavo. Thank you once again to Andrew for joining us this holiday special and for just having the agility to talk shop with us without any structure whatsoever. This is one of our first episodes we've done without any talking points or segments.
Oh wow. Well, no, thanks for having me though.
Absolutely. Do you have any final thoughts, or do you have any thing you want to plug? Any social channels or events?
Yeah, you could follow me on. I'm gonna slip into my radio voice because I do a podcast as well weekly. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Drew DiMalanta, DiMalanta, on TikTok at Rogue Leader Drew. If you follow the Schmodown, if any of you do, we do a weekly Schmodown podcast called Beyond the Schmodown on my YouTube channel. It's Andrew and Nikki. We do also do a general discussion podcast, the Radcast. It was just me and my wife, just 30 minutes talking nonsense. We're going to try to bring our Star Wars podcast back because we've been so incredibly busy. Going rogue is what we used to do, but try to get that back up and running. But no plans, immediate plans for it, but we're going to try.
Awesome. Check out Beyond the Schmodown.
Beyond the Schmodown, yeah.
Choco, any final thoughts? Closing remarks? Jokes?
Yeah, closing remarks is I actually did think of my favorite jargon, and that's when, because St. Pat just said accelerate to attack speed, and that's when Admiral Akbar says, move into attack position, and then Niam Nub says, that's my favorite jargon in Star Wars.
I can't believe
True, man.
that is 100% accurate, and I can't believe you learned it.
That line actually has its place in Star Wars in Schmodown history between me and Alex when I won the title off him. So
Really?
Wow.
yes. That very scene has its own little history in the
Which is
Schmodown.
funny because the name Niam Nub has a history between me and Element and me beating him in trivia.
So what is it?
But,
Silmar Emily. So what Silmar Emily is to Sindarin, you are to Celestin. Is that what I'm getting? Can you speak Celestin, Choco?
No, I can't.
It's false advertisement. What were you gonna say?
Just last thing is I'm sure everyone here knows, but check out the High Ground podcast on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. on youtube.com/Darth Choco. It's always a good time, and then also keep tuned for the final episode of Voyage of Destruction, the tabletop RPG. It was a lot of fun. Andrew, you ever play tabletop RPG? Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm actually afraid to. I've been curious for a while, but I was like, there's no way I could keep up. So
I was afraid to.
never say never.
I doubt it. You'd be awesome. So yeah, don't worry about keeping up. You're not doing any good back there. Let's just go to my line.
Is High Ground going on hiatus at all, or are you going straight through the holidays?
There'll be an episode this upcoming week, but not the following week.
Gotcha. Okay, guys. Well, this is the end of this episode. This is the last episode of the year, so the next time you see us will be January 1st. Saturday, January 1st. So I know it sounds like a huge big deal, last episode of the year, but it's only one Saturday we're missing. But yeah, let me shout out all of our channel members and Squadron 7 pilots. We have Soda Man, Nedrex, Steward of Ostagar, Mara J. Skywalker, Barikwa Wookie, Mabe, Pod One's Podcast, Kenobi, Star Wars Scholar, Star Wars Lawyer, Brooke, Dazzler. St. Pat, Kyosuke Heicho, Grandmaster Bale, Harith Productions, DePaul, Mentally Ill Sith Lord, Nerd Connor, Gray, Levi Bond, Masa, X-Core Gamer Skills, Cal4, Car2D2, Corellia Coffee Works, Chonsky, Julie Christine, Xanatos 1138, Brian with the Beard, Brian with the Bread, Brian with the Beard Bread, Brian with the Bread Beard, Darth Choco, Arya L, and Brooke, Dazzler. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the last episode of the year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all of the things that you celebrate. Happy New Year too. And we hope you guys have a wonderful holiday with your friends and family. Thank you once again, and we'll be seeing you on TikTok. But that is the end. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life,
we are all the Republic.
May the Force be with you, and see y'all next year.